Hello guys, it's me, Eliakim, coming to you from UK, England. I'm here on my mission trip, and I just found a very nice place here. I think it must be the nicest place I've ever seen in my life. I mean, just look at this. It's very amazing, very nice. And we have even there's like some sheep over there. I don't know if you can see them, but anyways. Just want to bring you an update from here. Um, a quick update. um, just a quick update to tell you just what has happened. Um, so the thing in Bolton, I don't know if I told you about Bolton. Yes. Um, I can't remember if I told you, but I was kicked out of Bolton. I couldn't speak with my amplifier, and I couldn't even speak without an amplifier. They kicked me away because I had spoken something that offended someone. They was offended and they complained to the police, and then they could shut me up and shut me down. So this is very dangerous uh, situation. So if you say anything that somebody feels offended by, then they can call the police, and suddenly you're not allowed to speak. You see, that's total opposite of freedom of speech. That is actually the reason why the world and some countries value the freedom of speech, and why it's important to have that value. I mean, freedom of speech is like it's very important to be able to um, to be able to say and criticize things. You have to be able to criticize things. You can't call criticism for hate speech. You can't call it for hate speech. I mean, hate speech, when you think about it, what is that? That's a new word. What does it mean? Hate speech. Okay, if I say to some people, I hate you, you're stupid because you're having another religion than me, I can understand that that's not not good, and that you could really um, you could uh, you could what's the word in English? I know it in Norwegian, but in English, the word I'm looking for now is consider. All right, you can consider maybe if you wanna, if it's necessary to shut somebody up, if they are totally bullying someone in their speech, or they are threatening someone directly so that people feel scared that they might die by their hands. So, but if I say that God is going to bring judgment upon the wickedness of this world, and God is gonna come and destroy everything, and a lot of people is going to die in the judgment, you cannot say that that's hate speech, and you cannot say that I'm threatening somebody. I'm not saying if you I'm gonna kill you, you better stay away from him. I'm gonna cut your head off. You know, that's a threat. If I say God is gonna judge this world, it's gonna come a judgment, it's completely different. You have to use um, some discernment and common sense. You can't just censor people. That becomes a violation against freedom of speech. And then these are actually the very important thing. Very, very important, like law and basis of a society. So when you try to stop that and hinder free speech just because someone feel offended, but that is the whole meaning by free speech, the freedom of speech, that you can say something even though people are offended. But it's your right to say something and criticize something. That is the freedom of speech. That is why this law exists, to protect those people who criticize whatever. Okay, you can't decide, like the government can't decide, like, okay, if you don't agree with uh, homosexuality or transvestitism and abortion, if you don't agree with it, you can't speak about it. That's hate speech. That's tyranny. That's a dictatorship. That's total control. So you lose the value of the democracy, you know, the democratic values of a nation, and then that is very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. It's very dangerous to play with those rules because they are so. The consequences of hindering free speech is that you you censor one side. Like there's two sides, and there has to be a debate, and for so so that the truth can be the truth. So when you try to censor the when you censor one side, one opinion, you only have the other opinion, and then there is no balance. There's no balance. So the society and the politics, they're cheering on only one opinion. You can only have one opinion, and they push this agenda, and then what happens is that they become uh, unbalanced in society. and that will have consequences as well. So politicians must really be careful what they do, so that if you don't allow criticism out of anything, like for example Islam, if you can't criticize Islam, what will happen then? You see, you can't say anything bad about Islam. So what will happen? People will only hear the good things, like Islam is a religion of peace, and and uh, and that Islam is peaceful, and there's no violence, and there's nothing to be worried about. Those those things we hear about, those terrorists, there are only a very few people, very very few, and they have totally misunderstood Islam. And this is the only thing that the people know and hear about. And then what happens? You see, um, Islam will then be supported on the wrong basis. So if you tell them the truth about Islam, that Islam is not really a religion of peace, and that there are a lot of worrisome elements about Islam, and there are many worrisome verses in the Quran, so people will not have a healthy understanding, and they will support something that they don't understand. They don't know what it is. They think they know what it is because they are fed only one opinion, and that is dangerous. It is dangerous because the next thing that will happen then is that you'll have that the Islam will gain what it wants to gain, and what is it is objective is Islamic rule and Sharia and whatever. And it's true. I mean, so we need to have, can't criticize, you can't censor criticism. It must be open and free debate, so that all sides of everything can be laid out, and then the people can decide what is right, what is right opinion and stuff like that. The politicians must be very careful, and they must make sure that they um, establish freedom of speech as as um, as as a law that must be respected and protected by police, and the citizens must know that they have the rights and the protection of the government to speak what they want. Because another thing is this: if the people don't have protection from the government, don't feel protected, they will also be censored by they can be censored by threats. So for example, in Islam, or it's normal that people are afraid of criticizing Islam. They're afraid because they feel threatened. They're scared that some Muslims will threaten them and come and kill them, and cut off their head, whatever, like that. And people are threatened by that and feel intimidated, and they don't want to speak against Islam. That's also a way that freedom of speech is hindered, um, and don't have uh, uh, the freedom of speech is hindered, and so because people, they're afraid to speak the truth as it is. Yes, so freedom of speech, how many countries have that nowadays? I don't know how many countries have freedom of speech, true freedom of speech. Anyways, I, I wasn't going to talk about that, but it just happened, and it's okay. There are no rules for making a vlog, but I spoke something against homosexuality, against um, transvestitism and abortion. I mentioned Hinduism and Buddhism and Islam. I spoke something about Islam as well, and I don't know who complained about what. Really, the police officer just said I couldn't speak anymore, or the officers said that. So I was actually kicked out of Syndrome. I couldn't be in Syndrome of Bolton. All right, so that was about Bolton, and then I just want to mention another thing that I was also in Manchester and preached a lot, a few days with with a little break. That's why when I went to Bolton for a few days, and I came back to Manchester, but it was those first days, and I think it was Sunday 2 weeks ago from now, and so two two 2 weeks ago from now, like Sunday or so. I think it was Sunday. So no, that was in Sheffield. That's in Sheffield. I was in Sheffield, and that was on Sunday. And that was when I felt that something volcanic happened, and I expected it. I expected something, in a way. I expected it because it has happened before, like I said. It has happened several times before that I have felt something in the volcanic, and it has happened as I felt it. there's been an eruption or something like that. So, but I just felt something and it happened. And also in Manchester, I said that God is going to start to shake this world, and because he's going to make the powers of the devil to crumble. God, so he's going to start shaking this world, these kingdoms, and the leaders of this world, and the governments, and to make everybody accept Jesus as king, because this is his kingdom, the kingdom of Jesus. The world belongs to Jesus, the earth belongs to Jesus. And anyways, I said to the people as well, I said that sometimes God confirms what I speak about, So I told them, you can look at the news. I told them that, actually, I told them that. And what happened next day is that the news is that Angela Merkel, the leader of EU, um, started shaking. She started just shaking uncontrollably. There's like on a video, and it was all around the world. And in a way, I think that might have been that God confirmed what I spoke, because I'm in UK, and UK is in EU, at least still, I think, and Angela Merkel is the leader of EU, isn't she? That so anyways, I think that actually that could have been a sign from God, just giving Angela Merkel a little warning like that, because she's the leader. Like, you know, she must repent. She better wake up. If she's doing something wrong, I don't have all the information and insight about what she does and how she runs EU. But anyways, I'll keep you updated. I'll try to keep you updated and post videos. So yeah. So God bless, and keep watching for this excitement, exciting, exciting mission trip. See you soon.